Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Maureen and this is ZX Crochets. So today's tutorial is all about this crochet arm on my sweater. I came across this Tunisian stitch and I decided to use it for this crochet arm on my sweater. So you can make it in any size and in any color that you want. So I also decided to include a turtleneck on it for it to look more beautiful. So this is how it looks like, and I'm going to be dropping the link to the tutorial of this Tunisian crochet in my description box and also in the comment section down below. So for this tutorial you're going to need a 5mm hook for the body, 3.5mm hook for the cuffs, a pair of scissors. That's basically all you need, and yarn, of course, and yarn. So you're going to need two parts of this rectangle, and this part is worked from down to up. So you chain 44, which is around 14 inches wide, and then you make 36 rows, which is around 21 inches long, and you need two of these. Don't forget to check out my description box and my comment section for the link to this tutorial of how to make this crochet Tunisian stitch. As a side, you'll need two of these. They should be equal because they should be equal. So go on, make two of these. I just like the stitch, really. It's textured. So after making two of these, we shall be joining these to make the arms. The next thing you're going to need is these cuffs, and for the cuffs you're going to make a chain of 11, and after that you're going to have double crochet back loops only until you come up with 7 inches. These will be going below the arms, and yeah, because they are the cuffs. You'll need two of these. So this is time to join our work. So I'm going to measure 12 inches and I'm going to insert my stitch marker right there. Remember, I'm left-handed, so don't mind, I'm going to be flipping the video pretty soon. So I'm going to from this side to this side. So what you're going to do is insert your yarn, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to join this arm for the whole of the 12 inches I've measured. So there's no clear stitch where you're going to be inserting your marker. So what you're going to do is you're going to just simply find where you're going to insert your hook and pull up a loop and over pull through two. So continue to do that until you come to the point where you placed your stitch marker. After that point, so coming to this point, take off your stitch marker, and after that you're going to simply chain one and cut off your yarn. So we are done with that part. So the next thing we are going to do, I'm going to show you how it looks like when you turn it in the right side out. This is how it looks like, and remember, when you're stitching your work together, the wrong side should be facing you. So this is the right side and this is how it looks like. We've stitched 12 inches together, and I'm going to do the same thing onto this part of the arm to simply stitch 12 inches together and leave an opening. So these are the two parts that we have, and we've stitched the 12 inches off together. You can have a look. So now we have two arms with us ready, and to attach the cuffs, you have to make sure that the wrong side is on top, because when you're stitching your work, you have to make sure that the part that you don't want the people to see is the one on top when you're stitching your work together. So this is what we have, and you're going to be attaching our cuff onto it. Make sure that it is also inside out. So, but first I'll show you how to join this, and mind you, I'll be posting a link to the tutorial of how to have double crochet back loops only in the description box down below, and also in the comment section. So this is how you stitch your cuff together. This is how it looks like. So at this point, this is the wrong side out, so you don't need to change because you want that to be on the inside after all. So when you measure, it is 7 inches. 7 inches. So we are going to begin attaching it onto our sleeve, I should say. So this is what you do. You're simply going to single crochet all the way. All you have to do is to make sure that the whole sleeve is attached to the cuff. So to do that, you could choose to be going into the same stitch on the cuff and then going into the first, second and third stitch on the sleeve. You could make a ratio of 1 to 3, and the 1 is for the cuff and the 3 stitches are for the sleeve, on the sleeve I should say. So when you're done with that, we are going to be joining this work together. We are done attaching the cuffs. So now time to make this come together, the top part. But first we are going to make a single crochet all around the top part of the sleeves. This is where the neck actually begins from. So attach your yarn, and after attaching your yarn, you're going to make a single crochet all around, and in that process you're also going to be attaching the two separate sleeves together using slip stitches and single crochets when necessary. So this is what we have, and the next thing we are going to do is attach the other sleeve onto this sleeve, and by that time you're working, insert your hook into that first stitch on the other sleeve and slip stitch. So after that, I'm going to simply continue single crocheting all around, and I'm going to repeat the same thing when I come to the end of this sleeve. As promised, I'm still going to attach this sleeve onto the other sleeve using a slip stitch. After that, now we are going to begin working on the turtleneck part, and for that I'm going to make a chain of 51, which is around 12 inches long. Make a chain of 51. Now we are working on the turtleneck part. So when you measure the 51 stitches, you're going to come up with 12 inches. And after that, I'm going to go into the second chain from the hook with a slip stitch. Second chain from the hook with a slip stitch. And I'm going to slip stitch up to the 50th stitch. So coming to the 50th stitch, done. So the next thing, we are going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, keeping that which you already worked into. So go into the following stitch with a slip stitch, and also the second stitch with a slip stitch. Now for row 2, you're going to turn your work. Row 2, you're going to turn your work, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the 3rd stitch. This is what you have. You're going to count off 2 stitches, 1, 2, and slip stitch into that 3rd stitch. So this is row 2, slip stitch into the 3rd stitch, and then continue to slip stitch up to the end of the row. Coming to the end of row 2, make sure that you don't slip stitch too tight. So for row 3, chain 1 and turn your work. So for row 3, you're going to repeat row 1, which is simply slip stitching up to the down to the last stitch, and then slip stitching into the 2 stitches that are attached on the sleeve. Simply slip stitch up to the end of the row. This is row 3. We are repeating row 1 up to this point. After that, go into the next 2 stitches. So for row 4, with slip stitches again. So for row 4, you're going to skip 2 stitches again. So for row 4, we are repeating row 2. Go into the 3rd stitch and then slip stitch up to the end of the row. So as you can see, that is, you're going to be repeating row 1 and row 2 until all stitches are covered. So this is what we have. The next thing we are going to do is you're going to join this together, but remember, when you're stitching your work together, you have to make sure that the wrong side is the one facing you or is the one on top. So now we are going to begin joining this turtleneck together right here. And when you're done, you're going to make a chain of 1 and then cut your yarn and pull up the loop. So the next part should be of you weaving in the ends and cutting off the excess yarns. So for my case, mine is done. I'll be weaving in the ends and cutting off the excess yarns, and if you don't know how to do that, just check out my previous videos. I always go into detail about this. So now you can turn your work to make the right side face you, turn your work. And this is what you're going to be having after weaving in the excess yarn and cutting off the excess yarn, I should say. Of course, it's a turtleneck. Don't forget to fold it like this. Just like that, your crochet arm warmer sweater with the turtleneck is completely done and ready to wear. So if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also give it a thumbs up. And for any confusion, suggestions, questions, please drop them in the comment section down below and I'll be glad to get back to you. And you can also check out my Instagram page, which is at Crochets. I really love this stitch and I hope you do too. Thank you for watching, and I really do wish you happy crocheting. And if you recreate this, please tag me in your videos. I'd like to have a look at them, and tag me in your pics too. I would like to share them. So thank you for watching and bye.